Hello, it's Bayou Girl. So it's been a while since I've been on, partly because we haven't had power, and then I was out of town for a couple of days too. But I have a number of videos from the hurricane that I'm gonna go ahead and share, and I could have done it yesterday, but I was just exhausted, quite frankly. So I uh, I waited till today to go ahead and do it, and I looked through them to see, and think about what I'd say about each. But I think what I'm going to do is just I'll play them and then I'll kind of give the background and commentary for each one as they are played. And I think that'll be the easiest. And I also have learned quite a bit through this. One of those was there was something that I wanted to show and you guys couldn't see it. And I realized after the fact it was because my video was not fitting to the screen. So I have fixed it, and but when we get to it, you'll understand why I wanted to see to show it because it is quite quite interesting. The you'll see a contrast between two things when I do. So I'm gonna go ahead. I started taking these videos Sunday before the storm hit. So the first few videos are from Sunday, leading, as the storm got worse until I couldn't take video anymore. And then I have some from Monday, which was after the video passed, and it just shows what the area looked like. Thankfully, right now, we are full with power and internet, but a lot of people still are not. So let me go ahead. All right, it's almost 3 o'clock. And now we don't have sound, and I don't know why. That's delightful. All right, well, let me just check one thing. I just tested this and I just had sound, so I don't know why it's not doing it. My video, monitor and output. So I don't know. Let me see. Let me try it again. If not, I might have to end this and start over, which will not be cool. But anyway, we'll see. All right, it's almost 3 o'clock, so I figured I don't know why it's got no sound. It ain't looking too bad right now. We just started with the rain, so I'm gonna swap it around, let you guys see. So I hope you heard that because it was playing in my earphones. I don't know why that's doing that. Everything else is playing properly, so I'm having technical difficulties here. Let me see. I may have to change the default for video, monitor, and output. So bear with me. Audio in. Damn, I don't want to have to stop this in order to check on that. Let's see. But at the same time, I don't want to play all these videos and then at some point realize that none of you could hear them. So I may not have a choice. Crazy. And just like that, I'm frustrated. Okay, that might have done it. Okay, so we're gonna temporarily start over. Let's see if this worked. All right, it's almost 3 o'clock. No, that didn't work. All right, let's see if this works. All right, it's almost
That
3 o'clock,
worked.
so I figured I'd come do another video. It ain't looking too bad right now. We just started with the rain, so I'm going to swap it around, let you guys see. Okay. Yeah, so that one was short and sweet. That was about 3 o'clock, 3 p.m. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you what the wind and weather looked like at about that
So
time.
here's the rain. I don't know if you can actually. Here's the rain. I don't know if you can actually see it. It's coming down at a good sideways angle, but you probably can't see it. We stuck at a bucket. Well, and there's the wind, and now I'm getting wet. I am in a little cubby, but yeah. So look, the weather's playing up from my video. Isn't it nice of Hurricane Ida to give a little show? But anyhow, so here we are now. Oh, you know what? Well, I see a branch kind of leaning over there, but I don't think it's down. I haven't heard any snaps. This is not really terrible. And we're going to get better, stronger wind than this. But for right now, you know, that's really it. So we'll see what the rest of the afternoon brings. I figure I'll come back out and we'll get another update later on. Why is there so much rain in this? Because this is kind of where my roof converges, and I don't have gutters, so there we go again. There's a little gust. You know, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right.
Okay, so I'll take a short break to tell a post-hurricane story here while I'm thinking about it, because otherwise I might not. So you saw that we had the bucket full of water. One of the things that we did, my neighborhood has a well, and it's a well water, but it runs on electricity. So what happens is when we lose electricity, we only have the water that's currently in the pipes to use. And eventually, with the whole neighborhood using that water, it'll run out and we won't have running water. So one of the things that I did before the storm was I filled the bathtub full of water so that we could do things. You don't want to drink it. We had bottles of water to drink, but we do that so that we can use it for washing. And so we didn't have power until Thursday. So this was Sunday that you're seeing right now that the storm was coming through, and we had no power until Thursday. So we were using that water to wash our hands, wash our faces, do sponge baths and that sort of thing. But and wash dishes too, actually. But you saw the bucket of water, and I showed you the roof where it converges right there. And so funny, after Katrina, we did this when my boys were young, but we actually took a rainwater bath. And so right there, the water comes down pretty good when it's raining hard. And we couldn't take showers. Even if we did, it would have been cold water anyway. But so what we did after the storm, when it was still raining pretty good, is we put on our bathing suits and we went right there where that water comes down and grabbed the soap and did a rainwater shower. So, you know, this is kind of what you do when you don't have options. But honestly, there was a lot of water coming down. It felt pretty good, and we were hot anyway from sitting in the heat with no AC. And so a cold rainwater shower felt pretty good, I must admit. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead to the next one. This next one was about coming up on 5 o'clock, I think I say in the video.
Hey folks, it's almost 5 o'clock here. We're waiting on an update. It took a little bit more of a turn north, which would be in my direction. And the wind and rain are definitely picking up. So I'm going to go ahead and pause it here, flip it around so you can...
All right, yeah, so you can see I'm still learning how to deal with the phone camera, but whatever. The storm did turn north, but it didn't actually come very close to us. We were still, I don't know, maybe like, you know, probably 70 miles away from the center of the storm. So even though it turned north, we definitely didn't get the worst of it. So what you're going to see here is you know, everything that you see here, we were a good bit away. So here's, I turned around the camera and you can see again, this is almost 5 o'clock.
Yeah. Just the wind and the rain. I know you can start to, you know, earlier when I came out, you couldn't really see the rain going sideways. Now we can. Luckily, I'm safe in my little cubby hole right now. I mean, it's not that bad yet, but it's turned a bit north. And if that does continue in the direction that it's in, then, yeah, it'll get bad here. We will get, I think, you know, we're supposed to get high winds, but especially if it keeps that northerly track instead of moving northwest, it'll start coming this way. So here we are.
All right, nothing terribly exciting about that. So I'm just gonna go ahead to the next video. This one, I think this next one I'm showing was about 5:30. So let's see. Yeah, it's about 5:30 on Sunday now. I'm figuring I won't get these uploaded for a while. I might be able to get them done today, but I doubt it because the power is flickering on and off in the house. It's still light, but you can see, you know, the rain's really coming down now. This is pretty steady. No gusts yet since I've been filming, but that out there, let's see if I can make it bigger. That is somebody's garbage can. Don't know where that came from. It's here now. Who knows? So, no trees down yet. Maybe. I think that's just brush. But no trees down yet, so that's a good thing. So, we'll see. I will. Oh, here we go. Here we go with a gust. Oh, and I'm getting water in the face. I'm standing in my garage right now, but that was enough to push some in. So we're still hours away from the worst of it for us even, and that's if it doesn't even turn this way. If it turns this way, then, you know, it'll be looking a lot worse than this. This is not bad at all, quite frankly. So we'll see how it goes. All right, I'm just going to go to the next. All right, it's coming up on 6 o'clock, I think, and the wind is definitely picking up. We're starting to see some branches breaking. The garbage can that was in the yard is long gone. I have no idea where it is. Probably in a ditch, yeah. Gotcha, yeah. So we just had a pretty good gust. I got wet. I'm good at the moment. But we still some hours out before we get the worst of it. So but I figured I'd take a little video. Okay. Yeah, so the next video is, it was getting dark. It had to be probably, I don't know, 7:30 or 8. And we weren't expected to receive the worst of the weather until a couple hours after that. But you're about to see that. I wasn't going to be able to take much more video anyway. So here you go.
Lower. You can see the tops of the trees. Oh, there it is.
all right, this will probably be the last one I'm going to take tonight. Partly because it's getting too dark, and eventually I'm going to have to go inside. But right now, this is the, I think I just heard a tree cracking.
There's trees cracking.
Is that the radar?
No, this is, I'm videoing.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I mean, we're still a good ways out before the storm comes here. Probably still a couple hours out, but, you know, you can kind of get an idea of
It's lower. And angle it.
What it's looking like. I'm hitting the lawnmower, so you can kind of see the trees. You can't really see the rain as much, the sheets of rain, but sometimes they're going straight sideways. And like there, you can kind of see it coming off. Now you can see it coming off the white truck. But for right now, it's still safe to be in my garage. Eventually, it won't be. So. But like I said, this will probably be the last one I take tonight. I may not take one tomorrow. It just depends. see you later.
Yeah, so that ended up definitely being the last one I took that night. It just got too dark. There wasn't really any much more to see. That was certainly not the worst of it. We sat out in the garage for a while, watching the wind and the rain, and until it was definitely time to shut everything down and head in. By that time, we had no power. You know, the human mind is an amazing thing. So I can't even really tell you much about the night that I spent, except that it got worse. That wasn't even bad. Worse, you'll see kind of what happened the next morning. You know, I'm going to show you in the videos. The next videos I have are from Monday morning. But, you know, at night, you're just sitting in your house hoping your roof stays on and nothing comes through. And in the morning, you still have a house. And so many people, you know, many people were not as lucky. I actually, someone that I know, because about the middle of next week, I started messaging everybody to see how everybody was doing. And one family, they were sitting in their living room and a tree came through the roof in the living room and their roof collapsed on them, actually. So, you know, but we were really lucky. None of that stuff happened to us. So let me go ahead and I'll show you some of the damage from the next day for what we actually had. So here's the first. And also, you know, like I said, I don't really remember much from that night. But you can see I kind of had to laugh because as the days went on, I just got more tired. So you'll see my poor eyes are bloodshot in this next video, but here you go.
Well, it's Monday morning. The worst of it has come through. I just thought I'd take a walk out here and show you what we got. We will still be getting some rain. I mean, you'll be able to see shortly that it's still overcast. So we'll be getting some rain, and but otherwise, you know, we'll see. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop it here and turn the camera around so you guys can see, you know, what I see.
All right, let me go ahead to the next.
So we did lose some fence. In fact, a few of us lost fence because you can see a few houses down, actually, to my neighbor on the corner. That's 3 backyards that we're looking through right now. There's the fence on the ground. Yeah, my neighbor behind us has this white fence. We're tipping back a little. Yeah, I know, like my backyard needs work. So, but you know, that's tipping down, and she lost some fence too. So it'll be interesting. She's got some dogs that love barking at mine. So that's there. I'm gonna go in the front yard now, however.
Yeah, so you'll see in my backyard on one side the fence was completely knocked down. Thankfully our boards were screwed in, so they stayed together, but the posts broke. They just broke. The wind just broke it. On the other side, the fence is just leaning. The reason it's still up is it's leaning against a tree. So I have to be kind of grateful that tree was there. My husband was able to just push it back up and secure it in place, so we don't have to replace that side. But the one side we will have to replace. The next video is in the front, so you'll see you know, what happened here in the front, and then I'm going to show you something to contrast, but here you go.
So this is my front yard. Thankfully the cars are okay. I mean, that car had damage from before and needs fixing, but that's a whole other story. All right, I did lose some shingles. We actually saw shingles yesterday before we settled down. Otherwise, there's my swing. The swing itself is missing. We put that up against the fence so the fence wouldn't blow open. Otherwise, I don't know if you guys can see, there are some trees down. I am gonna walk, not the trees itself, thankfully. I'm only seeing branches, so that's good. I guess I'll come this way and see if there's... The cars have done okay, and that was what I was concerned about with the trees. So I'm kind of glad none of the trees fell. But they are bare. They are more bare. You can see on the ground the streets covered in stuff. We're getting a nice little breeze right now. Might open the house. We have no power. I don't know when we'll get that back. We tend to do pretty good down here because we're close to some key government things. But if you look down the street, the whole street's covered with branches and stuff. And so you can see right here all the branches that are down. It's funny because I know when I was taking video last night, some of these had to be down. But we saw a lot of them drooping, and then, you know, this morning you can actually see what really went down. There's a pretty good size one right there that just came off. I'm going to see how the ditch is looking. There's flash. Ooh, dang. Wow. Oh gosh. So I tried showing you last night, but you couldn't. This is the same ditch. This is the tree with the water, the marks that I was telling you guys about, but you couldn't see. I mean, yeah. Wow. Okay, so let me see if I can get this perspective. It doesn't look like it's moving either. That's a little bit concerning. So, over here, it's about maybe 4 feet from the top. I mean, right here, it's coming up to... Yesterday, when I was showing this to you guys, the whole thing was maybe 4 foot wide at the bottom. It was pumping out water pretty good, but, wow, this thing is full. So like I said, one of the big concerns is flooding. Still, even though this is pretty full, I don't expect flooding. I mean, it could go high. I mean, I wish there was a way that I could show you how deep this is. This is probably 15 feet deep right now. Whereas yesterday, it was just a little stream, maybe 4 foot wide. Now, this right here, I mean, that's probably 50 foot wide across. Further down where it narrows, it's probably 30 feet wide. So, and I'm guessing, but so you can kind of see that. But yeah, so here we are. Okay, so now I can see the roofs. I don't know if you guys can see them. I'm looking at my neighbors. I mean, y'all probably can't see that as clearly as me. My neighbor's roof's missing a few shingles. The only thing with Katrina, we lost our chimney too. I haven't seen that, thank God. I don't feel like, I mean, obviously I don't want to have to replace any of it, but I will be fixing fence and replacing shingles for sure. Hopefully I won't have water damage. But so the flooding might go higher. I mean, the water might go higher, but oh, that's why I was saying, I just kind of wanted to, I don't know that you can see it, but I'm looking down, so I'm pretty good. I'm still higher, even if the water comes up. It's got to come up quite a bit of feet. Further down, I'm looking now, there's water on the street. I can't get out of my neighborhood, that's for sure. I mean, I might be able to get out of my neighborhood. I can't hold it still enough because it's so far down. Sorry, guys. Making me sick. Alright, anyway, there's water down there. There's going to be a lot of flooding around, and like I said, we're still going to be expecting rain, so... Well, anyway, I don't know when I'm going to get this up. We're going to start the generator. I didn't want to start it with the storm still, so we're going to start the generator in a little while, and, you know, we might end up with internet. If we end up with internet, I'll post this, but I think we lost internet last night, even when we had power, so it might not be possible for me to post this, but anyway, have a good one.
Yeah, so I showed the ditch, which was right up high by those 2 blue paint marks. And, you know, I'm still kind of learning how to do all this. So I had taken the video. What was happening before is you guys were only seeing the top left corner of my phone screen, the video wasn't fitting to this screen. So when I was trying to show the ditch earlier, you couldn't see it because that was happening. But luckily, I was deleting the stuff off my phone, so I didn't in my computer actually, so I'm not backing up, filling up my memory with videos. But it was still in the trash in my phone, so I do have video of the ditch earlier the day before actually. So you can actually see the difference between the ditch on Monday and the ditch on Sunday. So here's what I was talking about, the same ditch the day before.
All right, so I had to turn the camera off to turn this around, but I'm just kind of showing you that's the water down below. We are going to get pretty good sustained rain with this. Right now the ditch is pretty low, draining well. I don't know. Okay, so there's a tree with a couple of blue lines on it, and I'll kind of want to show that because that'll be a marker later on if I manage to remember to come back out and check the water line. So anyway, and then you can see, because this thing does get pretty high on occasion, especially if we get the kind of rain they're talking about. But again, now that I'm further away from the house, you can see the sustained wind we're getting.
Yeah, so you can see on Monday's video that whole area was completely full and not moving. So now we are still, well, after the storm moved, it went up north, so it continues to dump water up north, and all that water comes down south. So the result of that is there's still a lot of flooding happening. Some people who didn't even flood during the storm may flood now because of all the water coming down. In some areas it is flooded. We got power back on Thursday. So 5 days after the storm hit, my house had power again, and then internet on Saturday. A lot of people are not expected to have power for a month. There are some areas where, there's just significant damage, lots of flooding, all that kind of stuff. We were really, really blessed and lucky here. One of the things that happened is, because of the generators, the local Walmart started running on a generator, so everything cold, once they sold out of it, they didn't reorder it. So we've had shortages of meat and dairy, anything that needs to be kept cold here. We needed gas to run a generator, so we ended up having to drive almost an hour away to get gas when all was said and done, and to fill the generator while we were here. And even now, there's still some shortages. The stores will get stuff in and then they'll run right out of it. And it's partly because people in the areas that don't have it are now coming here. So, that'll be going on for a while. A lot of people still don't have internet, so we'll see how it all does. Some places were really devastated as you go further south. But anyway, I'm glad I had this. I wish I had thought to do this years ago during Katrina. Katrina in this particular area was actually a lot worse. So we're doing pretty good actually right here now, but some areas are not. So I think this is probably going to wrap up my hurricane video log. But anyway, hope you've enjoyed it. It's certainly been interesting for me. I will be back on later. I don't know, playing ESO, Deep Rock, or probably Apex. And I say that because I told my son yesterday that I would play with him today. So that one will definitely not be for children, because try as I might, I can't stop myself from cursing explosively in Apex. I'm horrible, but the only way to get better is to keep doing it. So I'll be back on a little bit later. In the meantime, have a good one.